work with us, old man. Right?
What's up, YouTubians?
What's going on, everybody?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Greetings.
However, whenever you're watching this, we appreciate you because you already know time is expensive.
Thank you for tuning in.
And thank you for subscribing. But if you're here for the first time, this show is about everything and anything creative. Anything that sparks your creativity in whatever medium you dabble in.
Expressing your creative soul.
And welcome to another episode of Creativity
Unsheathed.
I'm Oliver Seagull.
And I'm the brother Nino.
And yes, we are brothers.
For sure.
And this is the show where we feel
that Mama always said, never go where you're not invited.
Yep. Because you just don't know what bad energy that may be there, or if people think that you may be the bad energy. But, just save yourself the trouble and everybody else's agony by just not going where you're not invited.
For sure. And it's probably a good reason that you're not there.
Right. And, call it FOMO or whatever, but
the universe sends you where you have to go.
Right. Because the universe knows the path that you need to be on.
Yeah. So, don't worry.
We still love you guys.
Yeah, don't worry.
And while we're talking about this, and what we're looking in today is
The Perfect Weapon. Hell yeah. Starring who?
Jeff Speakman.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah.
This guy is going to let his Kenpo speak for itself.
Yes, Kenpo, which is developed by Ed Parker, the late Ed Parker.
Yep. You can probably say it's his version of JKD. It's American Kenpo stemming off of Japanese Kenpo, but Kenpo with an M. And in American Kenpo, it's Kenpo with an N.
With an N.
So it seems like Ed Parker just had a mixture of different Japanese karates and mixing with American boxing, wrestling, and some influence from Chinese Kung Fu.
Yeah, for sure.
So you definitely say, it's his own JKD. And Jeff Speakman, he's demonstrating that for him.
Hell yeah.
Right? And this film is definitely dedicated to the late, great Ed Parker.
Yes, rest in peace.
I mean, supposedly he wanted to be, in this movie, he wanted to be the starring role, but he didn't have the acting chops. But, he definitely taught Jeff Speakman well.
Yes, he showcased it well.
Yeah.
For sure.
For those martial arts enthusiasts, if you guys watch this film, there's not a lot of martial arts montages or whatnot, but it depends on what version you watch, right? Because there's an extended version out there where it really highlights more of Kenpo and just the martial art way.
Yes.
If you've seen that extended cut, you know what we're talking about.
And it really does change a lot in the movie.
Yeah, it's probably like 2 or 3 minute difference, but it really impacts the film differently.
It added to Speakman's character.
Yep, you give us more of a reason why we should care for this guy.
For sure.
So in this film, we're looking into Jeff Speakman playing a guy named Jeff Sanders. So right at the gate, we have this opening scene. We see Jeff Speakman. It seems like he's a construction worker, but oddly enough, him and another co-worker have no hard hats. Everyone else has a hard hat but him. And you don't really hear it, but it seems like he's looking at his boss, and maybe his boss is like, "Hey man, why are you wearing no hard hat, man? We're working right here." And you see Jeff Speakman just looking at him as if like he's Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Like,
where's your uniform?
Right, no uniform. I'm Jeff Speakman. Right?
My hair is my hard hat.
Right, so he just leaves his shovel there and walks off.
Yeah.
Right? But he utilizes his time.
Yeah, he went home and said, worked out.
He did his training montage.
Yeah.
Right, to the awesome song by Snap.
I've got the power.
Right.
Or Power, however you want to title it. It's sick.
So knowing it was playing on the radio, once it started playing, he got up right away and started training. I just wonder,
yeah.
It must be like that much of a good hype song,
a
workout song
that
makes
right
you
on
want to.
time. Oh hell yeah!
And start working out too.
They went full on katas.
Right, but in this katas, you got to give credit to Scott Adkins' podcast because he did interview Jeff Speakman.
Nice, yes,
right, and
sure.
They were talking about this kata scene, and he asked them if it was anything traditional or
where you taught it. Yeah.
If something that Ed Parker taught him.
Right.
But Jeff Speakman said he was just free flowing. You know, he was
nice.
just for the most part he was just
improvising.
Yeah, he was just improvising the workouts and what he knows as far as what Kenpo represents.
Oh yeah.
So you know, it's pretty cool. You just see a real on-screen free flow.
Kind of like just copying Billy Blank stuff.
Yeah.
Or now today with Kenpo X.
Right, with Tony Horton. If you guys know about that, you guys know.
Hell yeah.
P90X, y'all.
Hell yeah.
Story continues. After his workout, he calls his childhood friend,
Kim.
played by Mako.
Yeah.
You know, you could probably say he was like an uncle,
a
mentor, right? Because he's the friend of his dad.
Yeah.
And it's because of his friend Kim he got into Kenpo.
Yeah.
Right? Because in Jeff Speakman's flashback, you see him as a troubled kid. You know, just like any ordinary kid.
Yeah, hot-tempered.
Right.
Yeah. Always trying to prove something.
And you know, and puberty just raging. So it's like, as a young boy, you have a lot of things to prove.
Yeah, and on top of that, his mom passed, and it was just him and his brother and his dad.
Right, so it's just the three of them, and Jeff is like always in trouble. His dad, he's always has to get him out of jail or juvie or whatever it may be, and he just needs a better outlet for him.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
if sports or whatever may not work, something else has to work, right? So then Mako's character, Kim, you know, he suggests Kenpo.
Yeah.
You know, at first Jeff's dad was against it. You know, he called it a hippie school, right, because of what it teaches and the philosophy of it. But then no, Mako right away calmly just no, it's not. It's more about self-discipline, self-control. You know, it teaches that. And then from that point on, Jeff's dad was on board and he okayed it.
Yeah.
So in this montage or in this flashback, you see Kim taking him to the school, and at first Jeff is disrespecting it, you know, not understanding what Kenpo is. But other than him having a crush on his classmate
Jennifer,
even though that may be a motivation for him, but he's being properly introduced to the art of Zen and the art of Kenpo.
And like a little bit of who he is and like his self-control.
Self-discipline, right, is what martial arts teaches us most.
Yeah.
And what's cool about this montage is that as he's learning the way, you know, he see the different belts, right? So
the different colors.
Right, so as he's doing those spin kicks, he kept changing the belt color. So which was pretty cool. I gotta hand it to them, that scene. But what's the use of a belt? So, right? Is it only to hold your pants up? But there's no real purpose of a belt if you don't continuously train. Right.
I think at that point it's a reminder of how far you've come along. It's like a star chart that you wear it on your belt with the tape.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know how that kind of resembles the chakras too.
Oh yeah,
right?
The different colors.
Right?
Yeah. The higher the belt, the higher elevation of conscience.
Right.
As a fighter, martial artist.
So fast forward, the story continues where, you know, Jeff is a little older. He's in high school and he's at school. He's training for
the pole vault,
where you get that big pole and you stick it in the ground and just pull yourself over that pole, or you know. And then there's his little brother cheering him on, and you know, throughout the whole martial arts montage, you know, he was training along with him, you know, just because like his little brother wanted to be with him, you know, he always wanted to follow his big brother's footsteps, you know.
And they would do the repetition of katas in their room at night, together.
For sure. So back to this scene, they're walking off the field, but of course you have these jocks,
football players.
You have these egotistical jocks, and you know, they called Jeff Little Fairy or you know, Tinkerbell, whatever have you, just because he was doing that sport. Of course, Jeff, being a martial artist,
he showed his self-control.
Exactly. However, you have the little brother. It's his ego. You know,
instigated it.
He didn't understand Zen. He just thought it was just all just brute force himself, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The football player hit the little brother because of his instigation, but then his big brother is going to protect them, which he did. It angered Jeff. Jeff unleashed on the football player.
And he had his pads on.
With pads on and helmet, y'all. So
with helmet on.
For those who know sports science and martial arts and the power that it provides, comment below. What do you guys think?
I mean, because you can imagine, like, not wishing it, but like motorcyclists who wear helmets and still have head trauma. So you can just imagine how powerful his kicks were.
Dude, seriously.
Man, it's crazy.
And with this incident, it got Jeff in trouble. You know, it got in trouble with authorities. And his dad, being a police officer himself, had to get him out of there. But he was furious at this point. You know, he said, now you're a weapon. And now you're teaching your little brother to be that. I want you out of my house.
I don't want him to be around that. Or around you.
And, you know, that was really a hard scene to take because you're kicking out your own son. You know, and it was powerful enough. It made Jeff leave. You know, he's like, fine. You know, if you don't want me here, I'll just stay away from everybody. You know, what you did, he left, he bounced, and now we're here in the present moment where Jeff, he's on his way to Kim's store.
Yeah,
right?
And his younger brother Adam has become a police officer now in the present.
Right,
Yeah.
following his father's footsteps.
Yeah. Had Jeff not been kicked out, I wonder if he would have done Kenpo with Jeff, his brother.
Right.
Instead of being a cop.
Hey, the what ifs.
And then like actually be a Sifu and teach kids.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's a cool what if, like part 2 maybe.
Yeah, but you could still have that Kim thing happen, you know.
As for like the motivation of the story.
Yeah, like Adam being with Kim when the whole thing happens.
Right. So the story continues. We're at Kim's store.
Yeah.
You know, he owns a import-export store where he has a lot of vases and ceramic
decor.
Yeah. You know, the representation of Eastern culture.
Yes.
So in this store, you know, we're seeing Kim being punked. You know, he's being punked by the Korean mafia because they want to use his store as a storefront to store their drugs or whatever it may be that they want to use his location. And, you know, the reason why Jeff is even here because after his workout, he called Kim.
Yeah,
you know,
catch up
on times and stuff. It got too aggressive to the point the Korean mafia cut off the phone line, and it worried Jeff Speakman.
Yes.
And which made him be in that moment of Kim's shop at the right time, at the right moment, because they're continuing the extortion. You know, they wanted
bullying him.
Right? They wanted to take over his shop. Of course, then here's Jeff Speakman. He's taking care of business. You know, he didn't want trouble, but trouble is there already.
Yeah.
And, you know, these goons, these henchmen are fighting him.
Yes, armed to the teeth, you know.
Right. But Jeff Speakman, all he needed was his Kenpo.
Yes.
Right?
Hell yeah, and this is where it all begins.
Right. It all begins right here.
Speakman begins.
He lets it speak.
Yeah, man.
Is there a problem here? So... What's going on here?
You can definitely see like the Kenpo style when he fights empty-handed.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But you see the influences in Kenpo.
Yeah, the blocking hit at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
But then when he's given a weapon,
yes,
you know, these ESKRIMAs that this broomstick turns into.
Yes.
You know, this is not Kenpo. For those who know, this is Filipino Kali.
Yeah, ESKRIMA.
ESKRIMAs, you know, or Nightwing from DC Comics.
Yes. It's Filipino martial arts weapon.
Yes, y'all. That's a Filipino martial art or stick fighting.
Yes.
You know, Jeff Speakman really showcased this Filipino art, not flawlessly, but effectively. You know, just that connected flow motion and.
I felt like it was real, like not too fancy, but more basic, applicable ways that anyone can do it.
Yep.
Not so like Hollywood, like fancy twirls and behind the back.
Which, I mean, he did do spin moves, but, you know, maybe that's just due to Kenpo doing, like, that spinning back fist.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So having the ESKRIMA is just an extended hand of that, you know?
Yeah.
So just imagine that full spin whipping action just...
And it stings.
Yeah,
it stings.
Right? So again, Jeff Speakman lets his martial arts speak for himself.
Yeah.
And, you know, he really demonstrated, you know, the art of martial arts or Kenpo, you know, whatever you martial arts enthusiasts see. But he demonstrated his martial art.
Yeah.
You know.
I think Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon, he showcased the ESKRIMA pretty good.
I believe so.
Yeah, like him and Speakman or like that, like the way they displayed the ESKRIMA.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, as far as generation and time.
Yeah, like 20-year gap, right?
Yeah, and before it became popular.
Yeah, before we get to see it in Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yeah.
The Disney Plus show, but at least it's still being passed around, you know?
Yeah.
So now the story continues where Dante Bosco, he's in this shop and he warns Jeff Speakman. It's like, did you know what you just did, Terminator? It's like, you just messed with the Korean mafia and now they're going to look for retaliation.
Yeah, you better go.
Dante Bosco's character, Jimmy Ho, He plays the street orphan who pretty much just knows the info of the streets in and out. He's pretty much this runner, if you want to say.
Yeah.
You know, he's
a little street kid. Yeah,
right.
Being a kid.
I think he's really a Filipino character, right? Because Dante Bosco himself says any character he plays is a Filipino character.
Right.
He's a Filipino orphan taken in by this Korean family. You know?
Yeah.
So, hey, that's that, y'all.
And he had to change his last name too.
But there are Filipinos with Chinese last names.
Yes.
So it just shows both cultures breeding together.
Exactly. On the same boat, yo.
Right. So the story continues where this exciting thriller, Jeff Speakman, he's not fazed by this mafia crew, you know?
No way.
He thinks he can just stay there and, you know, help protect Kim and his store, but Kim denies the help.
Yes.
You know, Kim doesn't want them to think that Jeff is the hired help or, you know, the protection, you know, whatever have you, because it may cause more trouble. But unfortunately, that trouble already started
that night.
Right? Because whoever's behind this whole operation of,
you know, whatever shop or, you know, the town. You know?
Right? Here's this bigger muscle, this bigger assassin played by
Professor Tanaka.
Tanaka, the henchman that was in Three Ninjas, yo.
Yes, he's like one of our second favorite henchmen.
Yeah, right.
Top of Danny Trejo.
He's definitely an honorable henchman, yo.
Honorable henchman, Mr. Tanaka.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So, you know, this guy, I feel like they got an influence from Wilson Fisk, you know, Daredevil,
Kingpin,
Marvel, Marvel Comics.
Yes.
Because of that rose or flower, you know, for every victim that he takes, he gives them, that's his, like, calling card, right?
Yeah, it's totally Kingpin.
Right.
Like, come on. Probably fans of Frank Miller.
So Professor Tanaka, you know, he gets hired to take out Kim.
Yeah.
You know, and Kim had a feeling it was going to come because Tanaka was there in his room, opened the door, and just that fear in Kim's eyes. And then here comes Jeff Speakman. You know, he wants to follow up on Kim's well-being.
Yeah.
But he finds the store broken into.
The window that they just fixed. Broken down by Tanaka.
Right. And rushes to his room and just sees the devastation, and Kim passed away.
Sees the flower.
Right, that calling card.
Yeah,
right?
He knew it already. Too late.
Right.
What have I done? He saw Tanaka drive away. He tried to chase him down, but it was just too fast.
Right. Surprisingly enough, he was running that fast in cowboy boots.
Yeah.
That was like,
probably Tanaka was walking slow to the car. Like, damn, he got there right on time. Like, as he was coming, he was leaving.
Hey, Hollywood cuts. That's cool. Made it convenient.
And in Daredevil, Kingpin comes out of a limo.
What do you guys think? Comment below. Did Perfect Weapon get an influence from Daredevil comics around this time? It was definitely a hot thing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, it was.
Ninjas, Daredevil, and Frank Miller.
Yes.
It was a hot commodity.
For sure.
So hey, did Hollywood get a little inspiration? Comment below. What do you guys think?
Was Jeff Speakman Daredevil?
Ooh. Maybe. Comment below. So after he chases down Tanaka in the limo, in those boots and that jacket, you know, he confronts some thugs wanting his belongings, right?
His wallet.
But then at that moment, it's like he's really high on adrenaline and anger, and it's like those guys didn't know what they ran into.
Yeah, man.
You know, they ran into his fists. You know,
five of them.
Five of them. He didn't kick once. He just punched them. Back fist, disarming.
Yeah, misdirect.
Yeah, dude.
Misdirecting them.
You definitely see that free flow Kenpo style.
Yeah, he took out the weapon guy first.
Right. He definitely displayed Zen.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch that scene? This is pretty funny because there's a graffiti tag on the wall that says Zen.
As he walks away.
Right? So it's like comes out of him after that scene. I don't know, you guys have to watch that for yourselves because that's what he truly displayed was Zen. You know, he was calm in that moment.
The flow state.
Right? And he let the fist hit all itself.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Like what Bruce Lee demonstrates. When you're in that state, it hits all by itself.
Yeah, that'd be water, just flow.
Right.
Don't think, just feel. Yeah, man. He thought about who to go for first.
Yeah.
And then just let unleash. Kind of like in a Kato, he zoned in, target, and then boom.
Right.
Unleash.
He just analyzed everything.
Yeah, analyzed everything, then went for it.
Yeah, dude. And again, he
that was a good one. Good one, Speakman.
Right. Again, he displayed his full demonstration of Zen.
Yeah, again, like I said, when to use it, and that scenario showed it.
Yeah.
That's why I like martial arts movies.
Yeah. Not just fighting and regular boxing. Like there's more to martial arts. You know? There's a philosophy to it, not just fighting. You know?
Yes.
If you guys can understand that,
yes,
awesome. That's kudos to y'all.
For sure.
You don't have to comment or like, but just kudos to you guys for knowing that.
For sure.
And again, like Zen derives from a Japanese saying, but it stems from the India and China culture, meaning a way of liberation. And Zen stems off of Taoism and Vedanta and yoga. So Zen borrows from
A way of thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
a way of feeling.
but then we're not going to elaborate on what Zen is, because there's also a saying where, you know, those who know don't speak about it.
Yeah.
You know, they just do.
Yeah, they just practice it.
Right.
Yeah.
So in this movie, we're just pointing it out that there's a tag that says Zen, and just what it ties to for martial arts. And it was just pretty cool and funny that it just came out of Jeff Speakman,
Yeah,
like in that scene.
And I wonder if they did that for the set production, or it was just there already and just happened to have that scene there.
For real.
You know.
Yeah. Hey, it just worked in movie magic, right?
Yeah. There it is. Everyone has Zen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Story continues. We're back at Kim's store. We have police on site, detectives, you know, trying to figure out who's behind this. And you get Jeff's brother,
Adam.
you know, he's there with,
Not his dad yet, but he's by himself.
Yeah,
leading the investigation.
right, because he's a detective.
And because he knew Kim as a young kid, he was able to be the leader of the case.
Right, so shout out John Dye, who plays Detective Adam.
Adam Sanders.
And he's accompanied by Clyde Kusatsu.
Hey, Principal Shimada.
Principal Shimada. Yeah, exactly, y'all. Comment below if you guys know Family Matters and Principal Shimada in that episode where Laura was a lawyer. Comment below if you guys know about that. But yeah, y'all, Principal Shimada is in this film.
Yes.
But for real though, Clyde Kusatsu has a phenomenal career. Shouts out to him. Was in a lot of TV shows. And like the first show that we ever got introduced to him was Three's a Crowd.
Three's a Crowd.
With, featuring John Ritter. He played a restaurant owner.
Yes.
Like kind of, you would say like it's like a Benihana-esque.
Yeah.
But-
Sure.
But yeah.
One of the best episodes of John Ritter as Jack Tripper. One of the best.
Yeah. But that was our first introduction to Clyde. And then seeing him in Dragon,
Yes.
right? The Bruce Lee story.
As a history teacher.
Right, he was on the boat with Bruce,
Yeah.
right? And to this day, he's in the Netflix episode of
Airbender.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. You know,
Yeah.
so again, he has a lengthy career from voice acting to actually being on screen on both TV and film.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, shouts out to Kusatsu.
Clyde, you're great, man.
So the story continues where you had these two detectives trying to figure out the death of Kim.
Yeah.
And police on site. Jeff is furious, but he's trying to remain calm, and he wants to figure out this mystery himself.
Yeah. Straight detective. Martial arts movie, man.
Right? So Jeff Speakman takes it in his own hands, you know,
Yeah.
tries to figure it out. While at the same time, you know, his brother Adam got reunited because of this unfortunate event, but they get that brother reunion, and, you know, they touch up on old times, but there was a little tension moment when, after Kim's funeral,
Yeah.
you know, they see Dante's character, they both run after him.
Yeah.
Dante so fast he outran them, and then there was a little tension moment between Adam and Jeff, and Adam pulled out a gun on him. You know, it's like for a police officer, always so quick to pull out a gun. It's like you can't handle it fist to fist, or you know, it's like you always have to resort to the cheap way out.
Yeah.
But you know, Jeff asked him, "You gonna shoot your own brother?" But of course, Adam got put in check, right?
Yeah.
Got snapped back into reality, knowing that this unfortunate event is causing a lot of emotion. You know, it's a lot of it's a roller coaster ride at this moment because they're both trying to figure out who's behind the death of Kim.
Yeah. Who's been a longtime friend of their father. Yeah. So they treat him as uncle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So at this point, Jeff honors his vow to avenge Kim's death, and he's truly determined at this point, and he's trying to find any lead who this killer may be.
Yeah.
Story continues. Jeff figures out where these henchmen hang out, where they train, the gym that they hang out at. You know, because one of the guys that he fought at the shop, he had
spider
tattoo, and Adam, being a detective, knows where these guys hang out.
Nice.
Because of that tattoo. So then Jeff ends up at that gym where these henchmen work out.
A lot of martial arts training going on inside.
Definitely. And then you have Jeff here in this gym trying to get some names and who this killer is.
Yeah.
of course, these guys are not gonna give them, answers flat out. So they challenge to a fight.
Yeah.
Pretty egotistical.
Very Americanized.
Yeah, for sure. Like very
Macho.
yeah. And there's the machoism, right?
Really barbaric.
For real. So Jeff accepts the challenge in order to get the answers.
Yep.
So they're sparring. Jeff is taking these guys one by one.
3 at a time.
3 at a time.
3 at a time.
And he's kicking ass.
Yes.
And they're exchanging punches, kicks.
I give it up to Jeff Speakman. He beat all 3 of them in jeans.
Tight ass
in
jeans.
Come on, man. And they were wearing like jogging pants.
Baggy pants.
For real.
And this dude, Jeff Speakman, was in tight cowboy jeans,
Fucking
yo.
jeans, yo.
Wrangler jeans, yo.
No rip, no nothing.
He didn't have to do high kicks.
Yeah.
He got them at the points where he needed to.
Yeah, he had some fucking cool ass moves.
Right.
Like cool Kenpo moves, man.
You got to see some Shotokan in there.
Yeah.
Just the shuffling kicks and
Yeah.
punches and stuff.
Oof. Yeah, that was a good one. You
know-
can see like their style of flow.
For sure.
Kenpo style of flow.
Yep,
As
yep.
far as applying attacks.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
It was so awesome that these henchmen couldn't hold up,
Yeah.
to the point where it's not even martial arts no more.
No, it's like just 3 on 1 just beating them down. Like,
Like
what is
one of
this?
them hold them while punching.
What
It's
is this,
like,
high school? Grade school?
right? It's like, what is this? It's
Give me
like-
your lunch money, kid.
Right, it's not even martial arts no more. But that didn't phase Jeff Speakman. He was able to gain back momentum, and he still beat all of them.
Yes.
And he got his answers. He got his answers where he had to go to this club called the Crock Pit.
The cockpit.
Man on the Crock Pit.
Notable mention, like, one of the fighters was in Family Matters as well.
Yep, he was in that episode where Steve Urkel turned into Bruce Lee.
Yes, sir.
Right? He used a little chamber. You guys comment below if you guys know that. But yeah, he did use a chamber to turn into Bruce Lee because he had to avenge for Laura.
Yeah.
And that honorable henchman is James Liu, who plays Crew Cut.
Nice.
And he's also a stand-in for Kai, played by Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa.
Nice.
Which he does play a villain in Mortal Kombat movie. I forget the character's name, y'all, but comment below. But these guys are both honorable henchmen, y'all.
Yes, yes.
Shout-outs to them. The story continues where Jeff Speakman ends up at the Crock Pit.
Yes. The cockpit.
This club where I guess all these gang leaders hang out in,
Yeah.
and Jeff Speakman ends up causing chaos.
Yeah.
Fights off these henchmen in this bar, but then someone flips his wig. Someone knocks him out from behind, out cold. And then here is Professor Tanaka. He is about to give him the killing blow,
Yeah,
but
about
then
to snap his neck, but
someone in the shadow says,
Yeah.
"Stop." Who is this shadowy person?
who is it?
I don't know, because he comes to and is trying to figure out what's his next move.
Square one.
Right? But then here comes James Hung, who plays Young. And if you guys don't recognize him, but he was in...
Big Trouble in Little China as Lo Pan.
And he was also the grandfather in Everything and Everywhere All at Once.
Yes, and the waiter in The Big Bang Theory was your friend who thinks he speaks Cantonese.
Definitely an honorable mention, y'all.
Hell yeah.
Definitely a lengthy career, and for those who know him, know him.
Yes.
So the story continues where Young takes Jeff Speakman into his limo, and he's giving him false information.
Yes. He's misdirecting him.
Yeah, he's gonna use Speakman as the perfect weapon.
Yeah.
He's gonna use Jeff Speakman as an assassin without being an assassin,
Yeah.
right? He was gonna use Jeff Speakman to take out one of, you would say, Young's enemies.
Rival, maybe
yeah.
if you want.
Territory rivals, whatever have you. He's power hungry. He wants territory.
Yeah.
Jeff Speakman ends up to this towering building,
Yeah.
and
He goes up to the suite.
ninja his way up to the suite, shimmying himself across the ledge and whatnot
Yeah.
into the window.
Kind of like a James Bond espionage ninja type.
Yeah, Michael Dudikoff-esque.
Yeah.
And then Jeff successfully enters in. He knocks out the henchman, and then Jeff Speakman gets his hands on the target that Young hired him to get.
Uncle Sam.
He's about to snap his neck.
Yeah, because Jeff thinks he killed Kim.
Right.
From the false information.
Exactly. Then here comes Dante Bosco, Jimmy Ho,
Yeah.
saving his Uncle Sam's life.
Yeah, like, hey, no.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
He's my uncle. He's best friends with Kim.
Yeah.
Right? And then Jeff Speakman is embarrassed. Uncle Sam is like, who told you this lie? You come into my house, you tried to kill me in front of my
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
But then he gives them the real info on who Young is
Yeah.
and what he's all about.
And Jimmy Ho knows that info as well.
Right,
like
now-
who Young is.
Right? Now
Yeah.
Jeff Speakman knows who who's his real target now, has the perfect weapon. Now he knows who to go after. And then Jimmy Ho offers his help because he's that street orphan that knows the streets in and out, right?
Yeah, the intel,
But at first, Jeff was like, no, you're just a kid. But then Uncle Sam is like, you're going to need him.
Yeah.
You know, I give you my blessing to take him with you in order to find the killer of Kim's death.
Yeah.
And that's a strange exchange.
Yeah.
It has to be done.
Yeah, in honor of Kim.
So that's where the story continues, where Jeff Speakman and Dante Bosco trying to figure out their next moves.
Yeah.
And, you know, what does Dante know as far as being that street orphan?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But then Dante wasn't trying to have it because him being who he is and he doesn't trust cops and knowing that his brother's a cop.
Yeah, who they now all team up with.
But they have that relation as far as losing a parent, losing a mom.
Yeah.
So they have that bond right there, that relatability as far as to having a trusting barrier, if you will.
Sure.
You know?
That connection.
Right. So the story continues where that trust gets tested when Dante tells him where Professor Tanaka may be, you know, which leads to Young, right?
Yeah.
So, Dante points out the limo, and then now they're following Professor Tanaka to this bank.
With Adam being the driver.
Right. But then Professor Tanaka knows that he's being followed, so Tanaka bolts it out there in his limo, and then
the car chase.
Right? Can't have an action film without a car chase.
Yeah.
This car chase goes down and gets pretty hectic, but they end up getting Professor Tanaka. They're able to flip that limo on its side. They stun gunned him, got him into custody.
Yeah, and then he broke away.
He was able to break through that barrier and knock out the cops. Adam himself.
And then they crashed.
Right, they crash, and then Adam ends up getting hurt, you know.
Ends up in the hospital.
Ends up in the hospital. Tanaka is free, and now they're trying to find more leads.
Yeah, and now Jeff has more reasons to go after Young and Tanaka.
Right, because now you went further down on the family tree. You know?
My younger brother. Now you're going to get the ESKRIMAs.
Here's the training montage. No.
Oh, man, not yet.
Not yet. So the story continues where Jimmy Ho, Dante Bosco's character, is doing his job as the street orphan, you know, getting his intel on the streets. And, you know, he stumbled upon this bar where these henchmen hang out, and in particular, Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa's character, Kai, who hangs out at this bar. Dante's character, Jimmy, overhears this conversation that Young wants to leave town, that he's gonna head on a plane or a boat.
Yeah, just to get out of the States.
Right? Maybe head back to Korea or whatever.
Yeah.
So Jimmy overhears this plan, and, you know, he tells Jeff, and he notifies his brother Adam and the authorities, and ends up at this warehouse, you know, where they're gonna plan to escape from, and Jeff is out here surveilling it and just how he's gonna go about it. Right?
It's his fortress.
Pretty cliche warehouse, you know. And then here comes the training montage. Right? Here's him. You've seen take out his weapons. You know? He has his knives, his ESKRIMAs.
Daggers.
But honestly, you don't need those knives. You don't need those daggers. And it's like, that's definitely very American. You know? But throughout this whole movie, he really demonstrated that he can just use his fists, his legs, and his ESKRIMAs. Right?
For sure.
Which he does end up using, but this montage, man.
I wonder if that's his couch. Then just put it up on the wall and start eating it.
Yeah, dude,
and then he put it back down and sit.
Yeah, like where did this couch come from, man? He's just here whacking it and just doing his combination, warming up, taking the rust off. That's that montage, y'all. He's there training with his ESKRIMAs.
Yeah,
that was
pretty cool.
Right.
But he wasn't really doing like no fancy moves. Like again, there's no twirling of the sticks and stuff like that. Just straight up basic hits.
Again, that spinning back fist.
Yes.
That's that movement.
Yeah.
You know, with
the extension. Yeah. So I wonder if those were his ESKRIMAs or.
Yeah, these ESKRIMAs, he take that out from his duffel bag.
Yeah.
So
those were cool.
You know, like maybe in theory that he took up Filipino martial art.
Yeah.
What if he found a ESKRIMA school?
Yeah.
Kali school, and then learned there.
Yeah.
Right?
Like a side art.
Right? Because his Sifu said, there's nothing more I can teach you.
Yeah.
You know, the rest is up to you. And shout out and rest in peace, Seth Sakai, who plays Master Lo. Jeff Speakman's Sifu, his work still lives on. Right? I mean, that for any teacher.
Yeah, for sure. For any school, whatever they teach you, you have to go out there and just apply what you know. And whatever doesn't work, you got to work around that.
Right.
Your creativity.
Trial and error.
Creativity unsheathed.
Story continues now. We're at Young's drug factory.
The warehouse.
Right. Jeff Speakman is about to infiltrate. He's taking out these henchmen.
No costume, just same jacket, same jeans,
same leather jacket, same cowboy
Speakman. The same Speakman.
Right? And he's taking out the henchmen, and he uses his knives in a very comedic way.
Oh, you know that funny saying, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight,
Right.
but then shit, it still works.
You know, it's just a matter of being...
How you use it.
Exactly. And Speakman lets his knife throwing skills speak for itself. You know, he worked on these henchmen in a very comedic way as well.
Yes.
And it's like, here, hold this.
Grabs him,
And
takes it out.
Yeah, you guys have to watch that for yourselves, but definitely funny.
Yes.
And Speakman succeeds.
Yes, he does.
So now he finds Young, but before he confronts him, here's Kari's character, Kai. Stops him in mid-step, and then Speakman was able to evade the gun range, and now him and Kai are fighting.
Yeah, getting the gun, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
And again, Speakman succeeds.
Yes.
And this fight scene where James Liu steps in for Kari in the fight scene, if you guys can see it if you pause at the right moment, but even though if you watch it full speed, it still sticks out. You can still see James Liu. So yeah, definitely shouts out to both James and Kari for that scene. That's pretty cool. So Speakman succeeds, and now he confronts Young. You know, fights him, and he knocks out Young. You know, he knocks him out, but Young. Right, came to and tried to stab him from behind with some hidden blade.
Yeah, all the blade on his arm.
Right, but the blade end up hitting the ESKRIMAs, right? The stick blocking it, and reveals that it saved him. You know, his ESKRIMAs saved him.
For sure.
Knocks out Young, and then as that happens, here comes Professor Tanaka. It's coming to shore on the speedboat to pick up Young, but then when he sees Jeff Speakman there instead, you know, he fights Jeff Speakman.
Toe to toe.
Jeff Speakman is finally going to get his revenge for Kim. It's definitely a fight. Professor Tanaka, being a professional wrestler, he's really showing his bear hugs, you know, really showing what a heavyweight Japanese wrestler does.
So I wonder if they based Zangief off of him.
Hey, maybe.
Like, you know Zangief, right?
Yeah, for sure,
like,
from Street Fighter.
Bear hug, yeah.
Maybe there's a lot, like many wrestlers with that appearance or gimmick, you know? But yeah, dude, so Tanaka's really giving it to him, making him work.
Yeah.
But Speakman's finding a way, you know? He's letting his intuition and martial arts speak for himself. He's finding ways to take him down.
He slung his belt like David and Goliath. How he took his belt and he twirled it and he tried to throw it at him.
Oh yeah, Tanaka. Yeah, dude, that was a pretty sneaky weapon there.
Yeah,
belt as a blade belt. Man, that's crazy. Whooping blade, whatever have you. Man, that's crazy. But
Speakman speaks for himself.
Right? He succeeds. You know, he was able to evade those whip and chain lashes, but you know, he prevails. You know, he was able to. He said when he was twirling that belt and threw it back at Tanaka.
Yeah.
You know, he threw it at a propane tank or something.
Got stuck on a valve.
Right, and then Tanaka threw it, pulled it off, and then here comes like the gas is just spewing out, right? And then you know, Speakman used it to his advantage, y'all, and you know, he threw, out of all things, a chain, like a piece.
The one that Tanaka was swinging around.
Yeah, like a piece broke off.
Yeah.
And then, you know, picked it up from the floor and threw it against the propane tank, and then just created a spark, and that spewing propane just caused an explosion, y'all, and just that's that, you know. Speakman succeeds.
Dude, it was like the part in the shop where he threw that pole at the gunman. That had good fucking aim too. Like, whoa, hella far, and he threw it like a baseball though.
I wonder if that's due to his Olympic training.
the pole vault.
Or whatever Olympic stuff he got into.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, Speakman wins, you know. He succeeds, he prevails. Here's Speakman carrying Young over his shoulder, you know, covered in a tarp or whatever have you, and then he reveals it to his father and the authorities. But then Jimmy Ho was like, "You're supposed to kill him for me. For me and Kim."
Yeah.
But it was more of a promise to his father.
Yeah.
You know, like, he already killed Professor Tanaka as far as him being the real killer.
The real killer,
right?
Yes.
If Jimmy knew that,
right,
you know, he'll probably have a better understanding.
Yeah, for sure.
But he did the right thing by bringing in
the ringleader
behind this
operation. Yeah.
And here's the song.
By Snap.
I got the power. That moment, you know, Jeff Speakman definitely had the power as far as honing in his discipline, honing in his skills in Kenpo and Kali.
Yes.
He returns back to his former school, you know, the Kenpo school.
Yes.
Visits his Sifu and Jennifer.
Yes, who are much older now,
Right.
Like, they welcome him in.
welcome him in, and then the doors close. But that moment was the full circle moment for Jeff Speakman in that movie. As far as it ends, how it started, for Jeff Speakman's character and the journey as a martial artist and a human being, of honing your anger, controlling that energy into a more productive, positive activity,
I wonder how far Kim's shop was from the dojo.
Yeah.
And not funny, but people kind of cool. Like they saw the whole thing unravel, like from him getting there, him getting to the fights, what happened to Kim, right? It's like they just seen it all. But from afar, they just see him fighting in the street. Yeah. Like, oh, Jeff's back. Hey guys, Jeff's back.
Oh, look, there you go again. Jeff being Jeff. Again, that's that full circle moment for Jeff Speakman, and that closure on his chapter. And as far as his martial arts training, there's still more to come, but as far as that chapter in his life, I feel like he was able to close it and start a new journey. Hey, maybe take over that Kenpo school.
Probably now better relationship with his father, right? And Adam, you know what I mean?
Come back in town.
Come back, probably run the dojo since maybe his Sifu's getting a little older.
Yep.
Run it with Jennifer.
Yeah, hey, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. I'd go.
Part 2. But yeah, y'all, that's the perfect weapon.
Yes.
Right? Jeff Speakman let his Kenpo and martial arts speak for itself, and what Ed Parker has taught him.
Yeah, showcased it really well.
Yep. This movie is underrated for the ESKRIMA scenes, and just seeing ESKRIMA on film. Other than Bruce Lee, it's just cool to see that Filipino art on the big screen and being utilized effectively.
To be honest, like compared to real martial arts movies, like it's like martial arts nonstop, right? Which is cool, I love it. But then sometimes with these American martial arts, just seeing a little bit, not too much of martial arts, it's cool because you don't see the same moves all the time. Like Ong Bak or Protector. I love the movies, but then you just kind of see the difference. Whereas like Perfect Weapon, just seeing just a little bit of Kenpo and then the Eskrima, it was pretty cool. It was like a good balance.
Martial arts way of balance, yo.
Yeah.
It's like, as a martial arts enthusiast, for you guys watching, it's like, take it from that perspective, it's a good balance of martial arts and story.
This version is kind of showing you how often you would encounter it compared to Hong Kong. It's like that's the thing encountered every day on a daily basis.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as the self-defense aspect, like Only the Strong.
Yeah.
Another good example.
Or don't meddle. If you can avoid it, avoid it. That's like the number one thing too, as far as martial arts.
Rapid fire, same difference.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, and he used it when he had to. And like the moves were all like it was different.
Definitely.
So like having just a little bit.
This movie definitely had that cookie cutter plot, and it definitely shows that we got more story than martial arts.
Yes.
But again, depending on what version you watch, there is an extended version out there where it elaborates and extends on the philosophy of Kenpo and martial arts, and you get more of a backstory on Jeff's character.
Like 2-3 minutes spread out. Extra stuff.
Yeah.
And like you knew more about Jeff, like coming up as a kid, growing up, so you really see his character.
So, I mean, if we were going to rate this movie, out of 5, I honestly would give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4. I was thinking 4 too.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. The story, it was good enough. It was pretty basic, like what you get in any other action martial arts movie. Drug trade, trafficking, extortion. Basic blueprint.
Sounds like a comic book.
Classic 80s story arcs.
Yeah.
The martial arts scenes were awesome, especially when the Eskrimas came out. I really enjoyed those scenes. It was cool to see Dante Bosco make an appearance, Mako, Kari,
Tanaka, James Hong.
Right?
Yeah.
All these guys, it was pretty cool to see them in this movie particularly. I mean, definitely American film, but I enjoyed it. Jeff Speakman, he definitely looked like an updated version of Clint Eastwood mixed with Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
No beard, but it had that scruff. And he held his own weight on screen. When it came up to his close-ups, and I mean, definitely sparked more movies for him. And his martial arts, his Kenpo was pretty good.
Ed Parker would be proud.
Yep. Rest in peace, Ed Parker.
Rest in peace, Ed Parker.
Thanks for teaching somebody.
Yeah, and thanks for inspiring us to watch martial arts movies or getting into martial arts. Because this was one of the films that I would rent.
All the time.
Next to Rapid Fire, next to Only the Strong, 555. Come on, you gotta get those.
For real, dude. Yeah, this movie was definitely up there for our inspiration.
Yeah, for sure.
This movie was definitely gritty, but it had inspiration as far as self-discipline and honing in that energy. and just channeling that negativity into positivity.
Yeah, same thing. You know, I love the martial arts montage. I always love the martial arts scenes. Yeah, everything was great. I like it. Good story. Again, like I said, less is more. There was like enough martial arts. Maybe a little more training, like coming up as a kid, but that's fine. Everything else is good. He didn't do the same moves. You know, like I said, like you can just kind of see the difference.
Yeah, it's like Expendables is popcorn movie. I mean, so is Perfect Weapon,
Yeah,
but
more heartfelt.
yeah,
Because the Expendables are just alright, guns blazing, yeah, muscles,
yeah,
perfect weapon.
definitely that manly film.
Yeah, you know, family members die, then you feel for it.
Yeah,
So, perfect weapon, y'all.
Perfect Weapon. Jeff Speakman. If you've never seen this film, you gotta watch it. You know, however you get your movies, you know, whatever bin you guys find it in.
Yeah, or look up some of his interviews if you want. Check it out.
Definitely watch that interview off of Scott Atkins' podcast or YouTube channel. He's a fellow martial artist himself, action star.
Hell yeah, pretty good too. I like him.
We'll be looking into his movies
Yes,
soon.
for
but,
sure.
You know, we would definitely want to shout out his podcast because he interviewed Jeff Speakman and you get a closer look into the martial arts' life.
Yes.
And, you know, Jeff Speakman is definitely a martial artist.
In his own right.
Yeah.
In his own style, and a human being.
Yep. So definitely check that out, y'all.
Yeah.
Whatever bin you guys find this movie in, definitely add
Save it.
Save it.
Save it.
VHS, DVD, Blu-ray.
Go get it.
Yeah. Add it to your martial arts collection.
Yes.
But if you're a minimalist and you don't like clutter in your home, definitely stream it however you get your streaming goods.
Yes.
And get inspired or dive into nostalgia. You know, if you grew up on this movie.
I kind of wish there were still martial arts schools around. There are very few, but back then there was a lot.
Yeah.
But hey, it's cool. You can always learn on your own.
Right? Or there's probably underground schools.
Which I think is better learning on your own.
Yeah.
That way nobody knows. Right? That way nobody like tries to harass you after class.
True.
Because they're watching you from the outside in the window. Oh, you get them after.
Yeah.
Then they'll fuck with you.
Comment below if you guys encountered that.
Or if you picked up your nephew and that happened.
Right? Niece, nephews, son,
Right?
daughter.
Like, leave him alone.
Comment below if you experienced that.
And you became the perfect weapon. Alright.
And if you reached this point of the video, we highly appreciate you because we really know time is expensive.
Yes.
We appreciate you more if you like, subscribe, and just spread the word of what Oliver and Nina are doing over here on Creativity Unsheathed.
Yes, please do.
We're looking into movies, comics, music, anything and everything creative, you know?
Yes.
Definitely check out our music. Give it a listen and let us know what you think.
Yeah. Share it. And let people know about the music as well.
Yep. Definitely tune in for future episodes and future awesome stuff.
Yeah, for sure. On anything and everything creative.
And now we like to end this episode with a motivational quote for y'all. But if you heard this before, by all means, just let it be a self-reflection of where we are today.
In the present.
And this one is by John Haywood. And it states, "A hard beginning makes a good ending." End quote.
Of course, fitting for this movie.
Right.
Given Jeff's journey.
If it was easy, everybody would get it, right? You know, whatever it may be that each individual wants, but if it was that easy, anybody could get it.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it just showed the journey that Jeff Speakman had to go through. You know, the barriers that he had to fight through. He had to keep on flowing in order to find the killer of Kim and the justice that he deserves. You know, he wasn't going to stop in order to find that.
Yeah, and he prevailed.
Yeah, Jeff Speakman prevailed. You know, he made a good ending.
Yeah.
You know, like we mentioned, it had a full circle moment for him.
Yeah.
That chapter in his life, like in a way, he got to come back home.
Yeah, he amended relationships.
Yeah, father, brother.
Yeah.
You know, Sifu.
Hopefully he came back to stay for good.
Yeah, definitely. But and you know, again, like this movie just showed the good ending and that full circle moment for this character.
Yeah.
You know, just let this be an example for you guys as far as the journey that you have to go through in order to get to that finish line, to that end of that chapter, whatever it may be, you know, whatever that analogy, everybody has to go through it. You know, everybody has to go through a journey, a rough patch, rough waters, you know,
Rough season.
rough streams.
Yeah,
you know?
rough stream. Yeah.
But we just all have to keep on flowing,
Yeah,
you know,
just keep on flowing.
find that moment to be present, you know,
Rough tides, calm waters. You just got to keep on flowing.
just keep on
Be
flowing.
water.
Be water, my friend.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody copies that quote, and this movie demonstrates what flow is.
Yeah,
you know?
what Zen is.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not going to pretend that we know you guys. And we're not going to pretend that we know your path, but the universe knows. You know, the universe knows the path and the road that belongs to you, and the path that your feet belong on, or however you want to go about your journey. You know, you got to crawl before you walk, whatever it may be, but the universe knows what's meant for you.
Yeah, your intuition is guided by the universe, so your intuition is never wrong.
Right? If you're not invited to an event or anything that may be, you know, the universe knows. You know, the universe meant for that to happen.
Yeah, like you're not supposed to be there, you know, and don't go where you're not supposed to be.
Yeah, you know, have that intuition.
Yeah.
You know, that's what martial arts is.
For
You know,
sure.
intuition, not just brute force. You know,
Yeah.
intuition.
Intuition,
That gut feeling.
the warrior's way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Be the warrior in the garden.
Be the warrior in the garden.
Because it's that time we're gonna say, stay creative, keep creating.
Stay independent, have your own style.
Do your best as a human being, stay motivated, and to keep on going.
Yeah, stay positive, kill the negativity, and just keep on flowing, yo.
Even though you don't do martial arts or you practice martial arts, just do your best to be a human being. You know, the best human being you can be.
Like whatever you guys are doing, whenever you're in the zone, that's martial arts.
That's the flow state.
That's the flow state. That's part of martial arts.
Yeah.
Being one with yourself.
Be water, my friend.
Be water.
So till next time, y'all.
Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Huh?
The crock fit. The crock fit.